Simeon Rice.
You draft a running back, receiver first, or do you play it all?
I don't play it all.
Don't play it all.
But I read up on it.
All right.
I read up on the point system on it. It's real interesting. Might be something I do this year.
All right.
So I'm gonna pop my cherry this year.
All right. Go receiver. I'll give you that. Go receiver.
Don't receiver?
No, go receiver in the first round.
Really? Okay, that's what's up.
Simeon, what makes Rod so effective as a defensive line coach? How does he get so much out of you guys?
Well, Rod is a player's coach. You have to be a player, though. You have to be a player. And he allows you to be great. He turns you loose. If you're a playmaker, you can make plays, you want to be in the system. He allows you ultimate freedom. He trusts his players. But the thing about that is, he has to know what to trust. You have to be accountable. And you have to be able to bring it. Rod was with us. We cultivated something very special down there in our defense. And he's going to bring that package because he understands the key to what's the key to making that whole defense go and taking that Tampa 2 to a whole nother level with the players he got. So he uses his players effectively. And he put a huge benchmark on them. Now, he's going to have a lot of demand on the guys. He's going to have a lot of guys expecting to win their matchups and things like that from a defensive standpoint. And you love that as a defensive player, a coach that gives you freedom, a coach that believes in you, a coach that allows you to make plays. And I think that's what he does. He infuses what he knows about the game, what your abilities about the game, and you're clear on where you're at in the game. Like a lot of guys go out there and you play football, you might not be clear on what you need to do and how to make plays. You're going to be clear with Coach Rod in terms of what you have to do, your basic goals in the game, and what your tendencies are and your keys are. He inundates you with information. You play fast. He allows you to play fast with all the keys and prep work that it gets you ready for.
Simeon, Allan with Cover One. Have you had a chance to study the Cowboys defense with Rod Marinelli? And if you have, what's your assessment of it?
I watch him a little bit. I can't say I study, but I'm always watching what Rod has. Met a couple of players this year, some defensive players out in Arizona that plays for him, and they came to me right out the gate because I was working with a player, Lamar Houston, on some pass rush stuff. He wanted to learn as much as he possibly could. And he's like, he basically come from school and told me he'd watch me every day in Rod's room. I think more important than anything that what's going to help the defense is the player development. And Rod does a tremendous job with player development. He does a tremendous job. We said when we were playing in Tampa, when we had guys that weren't on like number one on the depth chart. I'm talking about the number 2s, the number 3 guys like that down the depth chart going into camp. When all those guys got released, they was always upset because they felt like they would learn so much. They would rather almost sit on the bench in Tampa and learn as much as they possibly could to infuse themselves and indoctrinate themselves in that defense and learn from me and Sat. Now, I think the most important thing is the elephant in the room. You have to have guys develop on that level. So once you have the guys that develop on that level, now you can have those starry expectations of greatness.
Who were the guys that you met? Cowboys guys. Who came to see you in there?
Bro, you put me in the corner. Well, I hardly even follow football anymore. Let me put that out there. I'm not ashamed to say it. I love the game. I don't follow it like that with the names and all that. And I didn't even do that hardly when I played. It was just a few guys that came out there, and it was like, out of respect, doesn't matter a name. I know they are part of the NFL, so I give them ultimate respect for doing what they do.
We can go. Okay. Keeping in tone with the Cowboys have a lot of young talent on their defensive line. For a young pass rusher, if they came up to you and said, "Hey, Simeon, what's the one thing that if you could only impart one piece of knowledge on them to make them even remotely as good as you were at the position, what would you say to them?"
Man, the one thing. What's the one thing? Damn. I don't think you can have just one thing. I don't. I think you can have. I think the basis. What we say, I think when you have to talk about great pass rush, you're gonna like what do you have to, the base? I think that's what you're talking about, like the base root of who you gotta be on. You gotta be tenacious. You gotta be tenacious. That's the first thing. You gotta be confident. And confidence is all. I want to say confidence is the first thing, but the basis is the first thing. Like you have to be good at one thing, you know, and that's getting off and not giving up. You know, getting to an edge. I would say get to the edge. That's what I would say. I was like, the first thing I would say, yeah, you have to get to an edge. Many pass rushers or so-called pass rushers or guys that aspiring to be a pass rusher, they come out of the game. I'm gonna give you a real situation, right? You're in the game, like, yo, you beat him around the edge. That was great. No, I beat him inside. I'm like, no, you beat him around the edge. No, I beat him inside. I'm like, okay, he's not gonna be good. He don't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? You have to know what you're doing. You know, you got guys that have success, and they might not even know how they're having success. You know what I mean? You like, yo, they just don't. So they have to be in par with themselves. I'm like, you have to be aware of yourself. You have to see the openness. You got to see it. You got to be able to beat somebody inside. You got to be able to take the outside. You got to be able to. You have to understand when they overplay you and you come in. You got to hit them with a stutter step. You have to be in control of yourself. But a lot of guys blind out at me. They just go hard. They go hard, and they get to a quarterback, and they predicate themselves getting to a quarterback on that. They might have a good season. You might not. But then that's why the NFL, if you look at the NFL, there's a tendency. You don't see the same guys year after year having double sack seasons because they're just not doing that. Every year it's a new face. It's a new face. You know, to be able to be consistent with it, you have to have a sense of awareness, a sense of self on the field and how to get things done. Footwork, hand placement, takeoff, being tenacious. It's a lot of variations that go to it. You got to be able to dance. You see guys, and I can say this because I'm retired now. I can say this. I look back and say, you know what? I see when I was playing, I hear guys in the league like, man, I'm getting double teamed. That's why I don't get sacked. I'm like, you get double teamed. That's why you don't get sacked. I get double teamed, triple teamed. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I'm going to still end up with double-digit sacks, and I'm still in the pro, and I'm still help my team. I'm still up because it can't be an answer. If you're a great player, it can't be an answer, you know, or an excuse or a reason. You got to be to get it done, no matter what. And Rod Marinelli preaches that. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, you know, what you go through. It's the outcome. It's the situation. We want production. We want numbers. We want sacks. We want to win championships. He's a great coach. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, we see all kinds of crazy stuff in the media lately. What advice would you give the rookie class to have a long career like yourself? What can they do to, keep themselves out of trouble and just play some good football?
You have to focus on what's important. I would say you have to focus on what's important. A lot of these guys, even myself, I'm no different, man. I'm no different than anybody. I'm not above or beyond. But I always had a sense of myself. You know, I stand before you all today. We all red-blooded Americans. We all live here. And I had an elevated sense of myself. When you get drafted, I'm the third pick overall. I feel like I'm a stud. I'm like, I came in the league. When I got to the league, my teammates were like, you said you're going to be better than LT. I'm like, I didn't say that. My boy Billy said that. But I do stand by that. I think that in my head. I think that. You know what I mean? But I would never be disrespectful on that level because what LT was able to accomplish. And I say that to say this. You have to still be normal. A lot of these guys, man, they get drafted and they don't know how to be stars. You don't know. You don't. You're like, I'm in the NFL. What makes me a star? Is it me buying a Lamborghini? Is it me showing out at a club, popping bottles? What makes you who you are? It makes you official. It's the fact that you get up to practice. It's the fact that you work hard. All that other stuff is monotony and nonsense. It's a distraction. And guys, they get caught up in that because of the ethos, because of the atmosphere, because of music videos, because of Instagram, and everybody trying to be cool. Like everybody wants to be different. You're enough. You don't have to be different. You don't have to. You who you are, whoever you are, whoever the new rookie class is going to be. You don't have to get into you don't have to upstage anybody. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. Just go be the best of who you are. Take it to the field and play. What makes you a star is how you perform on the field.
Thank you, appreciate it.
that ask the hard question.
What's up, little man?
I know you said that you need to focus on what's important, but I wanted to ask, like, how do I better myself in a football perspective? Like, what can I do for myself to better, like, how I play?
What position? What position?
I play more defensive end.
Defensive end. Okay. Well, me and you speak the same language. First of all, you had to have that ambition that you want to be the best player ever. So we say that, right? You want to be the best ever that played that game, that played the game. You want to be better than me. You want to be better than Lawrence Taylor. You want to be better than Reggie White. You want to be better than all of us. Okay, so that's your basis. So already, once you say that, the bar is high now. So how you gotta live? You gotta live according to that now. You know, to be one of the greats, you gotta become immortal. So you gotta be willing to kill yourself. If you're willing to kill yourself on the field, you become immortal. What do I mean by that? You gotta train. You see your teammates getting tired, you gotta take the lead. This is where you gotta love misery. You know when it's hot and everybody, you're like, I'm ready. I love this. You gotta love that motion. You gotta look up when everybody dead and everybody tired. And they're like, when you the offense turn over the ball and every defense on the field, and then all defense like, man, offense messing up. You're like, no, we love this moment because this is where we shine. You gotta love the critical moments because in the critical moments, in the tough moments of football in the game, that's where you become who you are. Everybody look good when you up. It's when critical moments, it's transitions, it's the off season, it's getting your body right, it's getting your lungs right, it's getting your mind right. All of it. It plays a part, right? So all that, you play that part and you walk into the game and you think different, you become different because you are different. All right? You gotta be a leader though, man. You know what I mean? I didn't drink or smoke throughout my whole career. You know, I had my fun, but I mean, you gotta be different. You gotta become superhuman. So do everything you possibly can. No excuses, only results. What's up?
I was just wondering if you felt your Bucs defenses get the proper credit as a big great team as well.
We do. I think so. For me, myself, I got a special affinity for the old school. And I'm gonna give you, I play a lot of basketball now. My son played basketball, right? My son will be one of the best players in the country. He played in Nevada. Top 5 in the country right now. You see them last year going to the tournament. They went deep with Loyola Chicago and lost by 2 points. I say this to say this. You asked me a question about like our defense and who we are, right? And in this generation, the young generation, they look at it like with LeBron and they forget Magic. I mean, they forget Jordan, right? We seen it all. You know what I mean? We seen it all. And we seen it all. You know what I mean? We see the past, we see the present. You don't lose yourself. So when I say the best defense, I always go to 85 Bears. That's a respect thing. I'm from Chicago now, but it's respect for me. Like, we are who we are. And I feel like we're one of the greatest of all time. But I feel like as long as you're in that conversation, that's all that really matters. I let everybody else decide. I know what I mean to me. I know I was unstoppable. I know Big Sap was unstoppable. I know Brooks got down. I know Lynch, what he did. But I was able to see greatness, bro. I was able to see from when I was a child, I was seeing the 85. You know what I mean? Buddy Ryan, that defense. You know, they led the way for us. So we're in the halls of being one of the greatest of all time. I feel like, you know, pick and choose. They're always going to be the greatest to me. I think we won B, 1A. They won, we 1A. And then the Ravens defense is 2.
Hey, you got any thoughts on Terrell Owens? How he's going to handle the Hall of Fame ceremony for himself?
T.O., my classmate. You know what? T was always provocative. You know, he's always been a provocative dude. You know, what I mean, he played out here. He repped. I mean, he deserved it. I deserve it. You know, I could have showed out. He's showing out in his way, but that's his moment. Whatever he chooses to do as a man. I celebrate him. I mean, it's all about, did he do it? He did it on another level. Now he might not be reflexive in a lot of ways that a lot of people like,